Today, the time is 6:16 here on your Friday morning, and joining us now is Terry Simonson. He's the Chief of Staff for the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office. Terry, thanks for being with us this morning.
Welcome.
The Community Safety Institute out of Dallas, Texas, released a 238-page audit of the Sheriff's Office last night. And some of the major issues that we found from this report include that there's a major lack of communication, 9 in 10 employees saying so. Top sheriff's officials aren't working alongside their deputies, poor training, inconsistent records keeping, deputies that are stretched too thin and aren't able to perform their core job functions, and the office, which, as we know, has some budgetary issues, could be generating more than $2 million in increased revenue and savings. It's a lot to summarize in 238 pages. You've had a chance to look at the report. What's your reaction to it?
Well, I'm so glad we did this report, because that was the whole purpose. It wasn't just because of the Eric Harris shooting, but it was symptomatic that we had deeper, broader, wider problems in a lot of areas. And fortunately, this great firm out of Dallas, CSI, came in and worked 7 months, 202 days. They had 14 consultants that spent 21 trips coming to Tulsa and wrote not only the 300-page report, but there's also 600 pages of appendixes that goes with the report that justifies everything they found and every recommendation they're making.
And you mentioned the Eric Harris shooting, really the impetus for this report. And the first goal and recommendation in the report deals with the deadly use of force by deputies and whether or not the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office should investigate those, or they should create some sort of interagency agreement to ultimately investigate those. What's your opinion of that when you hear that that should maybe be a possibility there?
Well, I think it's a possibility for a couple of reasons. Number one, the deputies, the detectives with the Sheriff's Office, we don't have a lot of exposure or experience with deadly force incidences, and so the experience is few and far between, which is a good thing. But still, you have to have the training for when it occurs. I think what the report is suggesting is that perhaps the Sheriff's Office with the Tulsa Police Department could enter into an agreement. They could work together. One could back up if the other can't do it. But at the end of the day, the Sheriff's Office is still going to be responsible for it. So we got to make sure the policies are concise, clear, and that there's good training so that when the deputies or detectives are called upon to do that, that they're ready to do it. And that's a very important recommendation.
And it was also that shooting that led to We the People and a number of other people here in the Tulsa County area to talk about the outreach between the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office and the public and how they work together. And the report states, quote, TCSO does not proactively engage the community in problem solving. Do you think that that's something that TCSO can correct, and how do you go about doing that?
Absolutely. There were 25 recommendations in this report that address the issues raised by We the People. And transparency and working better, community engagement, community policing is absolutely a priority. It should be a priority for the Tulsa Police Department, and we just weren't putting the assets and the resources in to do that. So I think they made a point that was well taken, and the CSI people found 25 ways to address those recommendations that came from We the People. So it's a good roadmap to get better.
Of course, we have an election coming up. Michelle Robinette, the acting sheriff at the moment, that election coming in April. Can you even begin to implement these changes now with the uncertainty of leadership moving forward?
There'll be some that we can do, but you're exactly right, Matt. I mean, the good news for the sheriff coming in is that he'll have two things when he gets there. He'll have a dedicated, loyal workforce that says, let's roll up our sleeves and fix it. And he'll have that CSI report which says, we found the problems, here's the roadmap to a better future. Just lead now. Be a leader and work with the people that are left, that are in the agency, that want it to get better. So the new sheriff may not know a great deal about how it works, but he'll learn quickly and he'll have a lot of help.
All right, Terry Simonson, Chief of Staff for the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, joining us this morning to go over this report, one that you can read on KJRH.com. Terry, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate your time. Daniel, Tanaya?
Thank you.